another side of our family now is my wife, who is
Myra. Myra Orta.
What was your maiden name?
Myra Orta.
Myra Orta.
My maiden name was Slavin. My parents were Robert Slavin and Gussie Blank Slavin.
And give me a little bit of their background, just a little bit.
Oh, my father came from Russia. He was 11 years old when he escaped from the Cossacks who were killing all the Jews in Russia. And he escaped with his mother and father, one brother and two sisters. They escaped with their lives. They had to leave all their possessions.
I said brief.
Okay. And my mother also escaped from Europe. She was 3 years old, and she came with her mother and a sister on the boat because her father was here in America and had run away also from an oppressive government in Poland.
Wasn't one of the sisters born on the boat?
And yes, my mother's youngest sister Bertha was born on the boat.
Does that make her a U.S. citizen? Never mind.
I just she makes her U.S. There were two boys in between the two sisters, and both boys died.
Okay.
So my mother had two brothers, but both of them died.
So where did you grow up?
I grew up in New York City. My parents met.
Where in New York City?
In the Bronx.
The Bronx. Okay.
The Bronx is the only borough in New York that has "the" in front of it.
Well, we needed that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything else is Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan. It's the Bronx.
The Bronx. Okay. So let's go on. So let's go on. So you grew up there.
I grew up in the Bronx and middle class. Do you shut that? Do you take that out?
And so you grew up there
I grew up in
your father
an ethnic Jewish neighborhood in the Bronx. My father was a building contractor.
Right, okay.
And he always worked in New Jersey.
Right.
He built homes, he built office buildings, he built sometimes successful, sometimes unsuccessful.
And what did he...
competition.
Okay.
But he used to cross the George Washington Bridge every morning, so all of his projects were in New Jersey.
Okay, and so he wanted to move...
He wanted to move in New Jersey, but to a house.
The room number?
He
so
said,
mother couldn't leave the butcher.
My mother didn't want to leave her sister
And the butcher.
and the neighborhood
And the butcher.
that she was used to in the Bronx. And the butcher.
Good. All right. Then, so
My father...
you finally went away to...
I went away to college.
Where?
Syracuse.
Syracuse.
I went upstate New York to Syracuse University. At the same time, my father built a home in New Jersey, and he invited my mother to join him.
All right.
And he said, you'll have to find a butcher in New Jersey, because I'm not living in the Bronx any longer.
But she didn't choose to take the bus across the bridge back to the old butcher.
She liked the old butcher, yes.
Right. All right. And so then you...
Well, see, my mother
where did you
didn't...
meet your husband?
But oh.
We're going to move right along here.
Okay. My mother didn't drive, and it was difficult for her to live in the suburbs.
Yeah, right.
But she got used to the buses.
Okay, so then you were in college, you were about to graduate.
And then as a college graduation present, I got a trip to California. And I didn't know anybody in California, so I decided to enroll in summer school just so I would have a place to go.
Where?
So I enrolled at UCLA, and I enrolled for classes that had nothing to do with my major, just as a lark, and a place to go and a place to stay. And while I was at UCLA, summer school...
Dashing young man.
I went to Muscle Beach one day.
All right. Should be obvious.
And I met this person with no muscle. Abscess never had any, never will have any, but I was very attracted to him because he was tall, dark, and handsome with no mustache. I don't really like mustaches. He was tall, dark, and handsome. He had no mustache. And I thought, who is this tall, dark, and handsome person on the blanket with no mustache? And so I was actually...
Okay, so then you got...
I got to know him.
Yeah.
And then he pursued me.
You're never gonna...
I know, so then...
He pursued me.
Right. And then...
Hot pursuit.
So then you got married in...
I went back to New York. I went back to New York and graduated college. And he was still going to college. And he was transferred to Berkeley. So then I came up to Berkeley. And from there, his sister, who was living in Berkeley, loaned us a car, because we didn't have a car, and we didn't have any money, to drive to L.A. to get married, because that's where his mother and all his other sisters and brothers lived. And she couldn't go to the wedding because we had her car.
Excuse me. So you got married,
That's right.
and
Still didn't go to our wedding because we had her car.
so you got married and lived in.
And then he graduated. And then we moved to Los Angeles because he got a job with Lockheed. And I did not like Los Angeles at all.
Toilets in here. This is like.
I hated Los Angeles, but I stuck with him. And then we had the birth of our older daughter, Lisa. And then we had the birth of our younger daughter, Leslie. And it was 5 years and we were still in Los Angeles. And I still wasn't liking it.
Where in Los Angeles?
In the San Fernando Valley.
Yeah, where?
In North Hollywood. The hottest place, the smoggiest place in the universe.
Then moved up to.
And then he transferred with Lockheed up to Sunnyvale, Northern California. And I like that a lot better.
Right.
I like Northern California a lot better.
Then.
Look at the camera. The climate was better.
No,
the food was better.
This is family history.
And we lived up there. And we raised our two daughters.
Weather report.
I remember my name.
Right.
Now.
We want to interrupt this program for a hot flash. Trini just remembered her mother's name. Probably wrong, but what is it, Trini?
I know it. She doesn't know.
She forgot again.
She forgot already.
Okay, so, meanwhile...
I knew it when she asked me.
Okay.
Her mother's name was Rachel.
Right, yes.
I know her mother's name.
Right, I know. So, then...
Don't ask Trini, I know.
So then, so you've lived in where now?
Los Altos.
Los Altos,
I built a home in Los Altos.
Los Altos. And
my father came out to California, and he built us a beautiful home in Los Altos.
Right, and then...
my father built the home. And my mother supervised.
And so then Leslie, we have two grandchildren. Have you grandchildren?
Yes! We have two daughters who went to college and became professionals.
Oh, nice.
And our older daughter is a very accomplished high school teacher. And our younger daughter is an attorney. And they both have advanced degrees. They not only went to college, they went to the next college after that. So they have advanced degrees and master's degrees. And
okay, so you have grandchildren?
And we have three grandchildren. Our older daughter has a little boy called Gary. He's very cute.
Now
7 months old. And our younger daughter has two children, Hannah and Ryan, aged 5 and 3. And they're just adorable. I think you saw Hannah a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
As you can
okay, well, there's that side of the family. Thank you very much.
And I have a business.